The Taliban are claiming responsibility for a rocket attack on a school bus that killed 4 children outside Peshawar. The bus driver was also killed in the attack, and in total, 17 people were wounded. Nick Payton-Walsh is following the story from Pakistan's capital at CNN Islamabad. What about this town made it a target for the Taliban, Nick?
Absolutely. Just point out this is a different Taliban to the ones we were hearing about in Kabul. Different factions, some allegiances between them, but in this particular town, it appears that some of the government-organised militias, known as Lashkars, that's people from local communities who've got together to resist the Taliban influence, disliking their hardline law. Some of them consider them to be thugs, although to others their sort of brutal, swift justice does appeal, got together to try and repel them from their community. And, of course, this appears, according to the Taliban, the TTP, the Tehrik-i-Taliban, the Pakistani Taliban, who claim responsibility for this, this was a punishment for that kind of resistance, saying that they will continue to attack civilian targets in the future. Hala?
And so what impact does this have when the Taliban retaliate, when cities, towns try to get together, try to protect themselves against this influence? You mentioned it's a different strain of the Taliban movement. What ends up happening? Do people become more resilient in their resistance, or do some fold?
I can't speak for the people of that particular town, but I think it's fair to say if they were already unhappy about the Taliban's way of doing business, they're going to be even more unhappy if they see their children viciously targeted like this. Remember, there was also an incident recently in which 30 or 40 school children were kidnapped in a similar circumstances by a Taliban faction, because also the Taliban said that their parents, their village, their community, if you like, had been assisting the Pakistani military's operations here. So a very deep psychological warfare here, and you really do have to wonder whether or not this kind of brutality is actually going to backfire on the Taliban, who fundamentally need local support to be able to exist.